How are you? I think you all are fine. This is Lavan Sharkar. Welcome back to my today's class. Today I am going to conduct a class on chapter 3, and the name of the chapter is the solar system and the earth. Before the start of my class, I would like to show our today's learning outcome. So dear student, after the class you will be able to say about the axis line. Then you will be able to describe about the longitude line. Then you will be able to describe about the meridian of longitude, and at last you will be able to describe about the prime meridian. So dear students, let's get started of our today's class. First of all, I am going to show you a picture. So this is the pictures of the axis line. In this picture we can see a red color line, and this line is called the axis line. Basically, axis line is an imagined line that goes through north to south over the center of the earth. Okay, and the end point, the northern end point of the axis line is called the north pole, and the southern axis point end point of the axis line is called the southern pole. So now I am going to show you the definitions of the axis line. The line imagined at the north to south over the center of the earth is called the axis line. Its northern end point is called the north pole or the Arctic, and its southern end point is called the south pole or the Antarctic. Okay, so dear students, now I am going to show you a picture. Okay, so this is the pictures of the world map, and here we can see some horizontal and vertical lines. Basically today I am going to describe about these horizontal lines and the vertical lines. First of all, the equator line. So this is the pictures of the equator lines. Here we can see a world map, and we can see a line just goes through the middle of the world map. Okay, and this line is called the equator. So equator is a line which goes through west to east and which divided the northern pole and the southern pole equally is called the equator line. So let's have a look on the definitions of equator line. So this is the definitions. The line that is imagined having the earth across the east-west by keeping the some distance from both the poles is called equator line, and I have taken these definitions from your textbook. You can write these definitions in your answer script. Then I am going to describe ins and outs about the equator line. First of all, the equator has divided the earth equally into two parts, and I have discussed about this thing earlier. Then a half of the earth existing at the north of the equator is called the northern hemisphere. So this is the definitions of northern hemisphere. Then the southern hemisphere, the other half of the earth at the south to the equator is called the southern hemisphere. Okay, now I am going to show you a picture again, and this is the picture, and now I'm going to talk about the equinotical line. Basically equinotical line and the equatorial line is same thing. Okay, but the definitions of equinotical line is different. So now and the basically equator line is called the equinotical line because the equator line is angular circular size. Because of the circular size, the equator line is called the equinotical line. So this is the definitions of the equinotical line. Okay, this line is circular in size for round shape of the earth, so it is also called equinotical circular or equinotical line. Then the use of the equator line to know the angular distance of the places both the southern and the northern hemisphere. Okay, so we use the equator line to know the angular distance of the places which are located southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere from the equator line. So that's all about the equator line. So when you write down the answer of the questions regarding the equator line, you will use these informations. I think it will get good marks in your examination. So dear students, now I am going to describe about the lines of latitude. At first I am going to show you a picture. Okay, so this is the pictures of the world map. Here we can see a red color line, and this line is called the equator line, and I have already discussed about these lines. At the same time, we can see some of the lines which goes west to east and which are circular lines. Okay, having equal having same distance, and these lines are called the lines of latitude. So let's have a look on the screen of the definitions of lines of latitude. So this is the definitions. Lines of latitude are the parallels and circular lines which go through west to east, above and under the equator line, having same distance from each other. Now I am going to describe ins and outs about the lines of latitude. First of all, there are 180 degrees of latitude, 90 degrees above from the equator line, and remain 90-degree will be under the equator lines. Then the equator line belongs 0 degree of latitude. This is very important questions for MCQ or knowledgeable questions. Then both the North Pole and the South Pole belong 90 degree each latitude. Okay. And next information is that a unit of latitude measure like the geometrical angle is called degree. So what is called degree is very important. Okay, and scientists have divided the latitude lines into degree and merits to know the proper angular distance of the places which are located both the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere from the equator line. So dear student, now I am going to show you the use of the lines of latitude. Okay, to know where a place is located on the Earth's surface. Okay, so I have already discussed about this thing. So dear student, now I am going to discuss about the parallel of latitude. Here we can see a pictures. Okay. Above and under of the equator lines, and we can see all of the lines having same distance. Okay, and this thing is called the parallel of latitude. Basically, latitude lines are the circular lines having same distance. Okay, so now I am going to show you the definitions of the parallel of latitude. A parallel line of the equator which is imagined by dividing this angle into degrees and minutes is called the parallel of latitude. Okay, so that's all about the parallel of latitude. So now I am going to discuss some of the famous latitude lines. At first I am going to show you a picture. So this is the picture. First of all, I'm going to give the definitions of the Tropic of Cancer. Basically, 23.5 degree north latitude is called the Tropic of Cancer. So this is the definitions. Next, Tropic of Capricorn. It will be just vice versa. The 23.5 degree 5 degrees south latitude will be called the Tropic of Capricorn. Next, the Arctic line. Okay, the 66.5 degree north latitude is called the Arctic lines. So this is the definitions. And at last, the Antarctic lines. Okay, it will be just vice versa. The 66.5 degrees south latitude will be called the Antarctic lines. So this is the definition. Dear students, now again I am going to discuss some types, basically 3 types of latitude line. First of all, lower latitude. Latitude 0 to 30 degree is called the lower latitude. Now I'm going to discuss about the next thing, and the name of this thing is the meridians of longitude or the lines of longitude. At first I am going to show you a picture. So this is the picture of the world map, and here we can see some vertical lines, and these lines are half circular lines, and they are not parallel lines. And this basically these lines are called the lines of longitude. So let's have a look on the screens of the definitions of lines of longitude. So this is the definitions. The vertical and the perpendicular lines that we notice on the world map running from the North Pole to the South Pole are called lines of longitude or meridians. Now I'm going to describe ins and outs about the lines of longitude. First of all, the meridians are semicircular or not parallel. So meridians and the longitude, same thing. Okay, so these lines are semicircular and not parallel like the lines of latitudes. Next, each of the meridians of longitude possesses the equal length. Okay, and all of the longitude lines belong equal length. That means 180-degree length. Then the highest meridian becomes 180-degree. One of the meridian is assumed as the prime meridian, and I will discuss about the prime meridian in my next slide. Okay, then the local time is decided for the meridians. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the use of the lines of longitude. Okay, basically there are two uses. First of all, to know the local time of other places from the prime meridian. Basically we can use prime meridian to know the local time of the other places, other places of the world. Okay, then to know the angular distance of the places which are situated both east and west sides from the prime meridians. Okay, so these are two uses of the lines of longitude. So dear students, now I am going to discuss about the prime meridians. At first I am going to show you a picture. So in these pictures we can see black color lines, and this is the imagined line, and this is imagined that line goes over the Greenwich Royal Observatory, which is located in London, and this line is called the prime meridian. So let's have a look on the screen about the definitions of prime meridian. An imaginary line which goes over the Greenwich Royal Observatory through north to south of the world map is called prime meridian. Now I'm going to show some information regarding the prime meridian. First of all, it is assumed as middle longitude of the world. Then the connection point between the equator and the prime meridian is assumed 0 degree and the center of the earth. Okay, so the center point, the meeting point between the equator line and the prime meridian is assumed 0 degree, and it will be and it is assumed as the center of the earth. Now I am going to show you the use of the prime meridian. First of all, to know the local time of different places of the world. Okay, and then to know the distance of two places from the prime meridian. So we can use prime meridian for two purposes. Okay, so that's all about the prime meridian, and prime meridian is very important for comprehensive questions. So when you write down about prime meridian, and you will just follow this information. So dear students, now I'm going to show a picture. So this is the pictures of the world map. Okay, and the angle of the center of the earth is 360 degree. Okay, 360. So the center the angle of the center of the earth is 360 degrees, and this is very important to know. Okay, and the scientists have divided these 360 degrees into minute and seconds. Okay, So this is another pictures of the world map. Okay, basically we use the prime meridian to know the positions of a place of the world. At the same time, we use the prime meridian to measure the local time of a place of a world. Now I am going to start the next part, basically the last part of our today's class, and this is the evaluation part. And here I am going to ask some questions to you. First of all, what is called the axis line? Basically, axis line is an imagined line goes through north to south over the center, over the center of the earth. It's called the axis line. Okay, then what is the equator line? The line which goes through just middle of the earth, from west to east, which line is circular lines. Okay, and which divide the northern pole and southern pole equally is called the equator line. And number three, what is called meridian of longitude? Okay, so basically lines which we can see on the world map, which goes through north to south, and which are half circular lines are called the meridians of longitude or the lines of longitude. Number four, what is the prime meridians? Okay, basically prime meridian and imagined line, which is assumed that this line goes through the Greenwich Royal Observatory, which is located in London. Okay, and this is called the middle line, just a middle line of all of the lines of longitude. Okay, and we can use this line to know the positions of a place of the world. At the same time, we use this line to find out the local times of a place of the world. Number five, what is Tropic of Cancer? A Tropic of Cancer is a name of a latitude line, basically 23.5 degree north latitude is called the Tropic of Cancer. So that's all about our today's class. If you have any questions, any query regarding my today's class, you can put your comments in comment box. Okay, and after the class I will give the right answer of your questions. So dear students, thank you very much for watching me with your kind patience. Next time, see you again. Till then, Allah Hafiz.